Welcome to another episode of Taylor Money Talk, where we connect history, economics, and investment strategy to understand where we've been and where we're headed. I'm excited for this podcast because it carries a positive theme. I'm hearing a narrative gaining traction in the public sphere, and I believe some leaders in our country are working to build momentum behind it. This theme refers to Alexander Hamilton, and it is sometimes referred to as Hamiltonian Economics. Alexander Hamilton was an American founding father and the first Secretary of the Treasury, created an economic blueprint for our young country described in 4 notable reports and implemented by Congress during George Washington's first term. They outlined a coherent program of national mercantilism and government-assisted economic development. I believe what Alexander Hamilton created is what made the United States of America an economic world power. Now, as a nation, we have strayed from that blueprint, and I believe it is jeopardizing our entire country and way of life. There is a path available to change this scenario. When Washington became the nation's first president in 1789, he inherited a bankrupt country, burdened by war debt and lacking a unified currency. Washington turned to the 34-year-old Hamilton, appointing him the nation's first Secretary of the Treasury and tasking him with building a functioning economy from the ground up. Hamilton's blueprint, presented in a series of landmark reports to Congress between 1790 and 1791, rested on 4 main pillars. First, the assumption of state debts by the federal government. After the Revolutionary War, individual states carried massive debts. Hamilton proposed that the federal government assume all the state debts into a single national obligation. This tied the financial interests of every state directly to the well-being of the federal government. Pillar 2, Hamilton established the first bank of the United States in 1791. Hamilton championed a central bank that was a public-private partnership that would hold government funds, issue a uniform paper currency, and grant loans to stir business investments. Pillar 3 was the creation of the U.S. Mint and a national currency. This was to end the chaotic reliance on foreign coins like the Spanish silver dollar and varying state notes. Hamilton established the U.S. Mint under the Coinage Act of 1792, establishing the U.S. dollar as a standard unit of currency supported by gold and silver. And then Pillar 4 was the support for manufacturing and tariffs. In his famous report on manufactures, Hamilton argued that America should not remain purely agricultural. He advocated for tariffs on imported goods to protect domestic industries alongside federal subsidies to encourage innovation. I just can't emphasize enough the importance of what Hamilton accomplished. This plan was completely thought out with a great deal of time and energy put into it. For the last 230 years, various presidents and bodies of Congress have taken us far off from this blueprint. When Thomas Jefferson envisioned America, he saw a country of self-sufficient yeoman farmers. Hamilton saw a future of bustling cities, global trades, factories, and complex financial markets. While the tools have been modernized, from gold-backed notes to digital transactions and the Federal Reserve, the core structure of American capitalism remains distinctly Hamiltonian. Every time you hold a dollar, trade a stock, or buy a government bond, you are participating in a system designed over 2 centuries ago by an orphan from St. Croix, who envisioned a financial powerhouse before the nation even had a stable currency. My main point is that a growing number of Americans in business and politics appear to be trying to return the country to a Hamiltonian model of sound governance and sound economic policy. Now, that shift will not be quick or easy, but it could offer a path to a brighter future for our country, our families, and the whole world. I believe the current administration, along with others in politics and business, are pursuing this kind of transformation. More people are discussing a move away from today's financialized economy toward one rooted in production and innovation. In my view, this change is more likely to be led by Generation X, Millennials, and Gen Z than by the Boomer generation. Time will tell where this leads, but it could mark the beginning of a promising new era for America. If you want to take a deep dive into this transition idea, there's a very informative discussion on the August 1st episode of Promethean in Depth. It's available on YouTube, titled Cutting the Cost of Ambition, Launching a Golden Age of Innovation. Thanks for listening. As a reminder, this is a general discussion about history and economics and is not intended to be specific investment advice. Thanks for listening. See you on the next one.